All right, let's cut trees. Welcome to episode tree.
Hustle?
Tree, yeah. Episode tree hustle.
Episode tree hustle.
Episode 3. 3. Tree hustle. Well, anyways, so we just got finished with the TCI Expo this weekend.
Whole lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
A lot of good goodies.
Good, yeah, a lot of goodies. We got a lot of good stickers.
Yeah. Go on to the collection of the tree truck tree cut.
We met a lot of people.
A lot of old friends and some new ones. Any highlights of that expo that you can particularly give a shout out to?
Let's see. What would I like to shout out the most about that expo? I would have to say just meeting the cool people was probably the best part. Gordon Field. That was really cool meeting Gordon Field.
Yeah.
Although we only talked for a brief second. Gordon Field is a very cool dude. We saw John Stedman, of course.
That was a good time.
And we saw
a whole bunch of HCB people. Like probably the biggest collection of them we've had yet.
A lot of HCB there. A lot of HCB. That was pretty cool. So yeah, overall it was pretty good. It's always hard to think about what you want to say about those things, right? As it's so fresh.
Yeah.
But
absolutely, like all the questions that you have for people, and then they end up sitting there and going.
Yeah, you just end up losing it.
Yeah.
But, this is an oak tree that I'm taking down in the video right here.
Looks really fun.
Yeah, I think it took probably about an hour. This was done in Aiken, South Carolina.
Aiken, South Carolina.
I think about 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
There they are, just getting her all squared away with the Avant. And it wasn't too bad. Did you just see that fly that went?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Into the it was a fly or bee. Those are pretty cool when you see them like that. But yeah, who did we have on this job with us? I think we had Johnny, Trip, and Cliff. And the objectives, I think, just to get this oak tree down and cleaned up. And then we had a couple other things in the backyard. You're not going to see that in this video, but
this is the monster that we're focused on for this segment.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's different kind of variety of monsters on the East Coast compared to the West. It's a different kind of standard out here.
Yeah, so in the last videos you were seeing a lot of, I guess, everything in the last videos was West Coast. Now that we're in the East Coast, working, the monsters, we got a lot of real fat trees on the East Coast. Nothing like too terribly tall, but a lot of good fatties. This tree right here, I would probably put at, I was thinking between 70 and 80. Which is pretty good, but it had a 40-inch base, and that is not uncommon in the East Coast. It's pretty common, actually, especially on these big willow oaks, water oaks, most types of oak. You know, there's a lot of types of oaks out here, willow and water and
sycamore and not too many. I haven't seen too many sycamores out here, actually.
Down south, there isn't as many. There are some. You will find them. Up east, there's a lot more. A lot more. Sycamores, London Plains, beeches. We've had a lot of actual offers to go to the east, up northeast.
Yeah, isn't Northeast, weren't they down at the expo too?
Northeast Arbor Supply?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were, but I was just saying we had offers as far as going up and working in the Northeast.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, a lot of offers, but yeah, Northeast Arbor Supply, they were there at the expo. We actually got like some free knives and stuff from them.
Real nice too.
Yeah, pretty cool little flip open knives. They were giving good deals on all their stuff. I'm a broke G, so I generally don't really spend that much money on stuff.
And you don't need too much either.
You really don't need as much gear as is flaunted
Right.
by the general masses. I think a lot of the gear collection craze just comes from like maybe the need to collect and
Yeah.
just say you had it or have it.
Like Pokemon cards.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon card. Yeah, collecting gear collection, Pokemon card collection. It's like one in the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like how a rope wrench is better than a hand ascender, but the hand ascender tends to be like more rare kind of deal.
I have no clue what you're talking about. That doesn't
don't
even make
either.
any sense. A rope wrench is the best thing ever. Okay, let me tell you all my kit. Okay, now since we're on the subject of kits, my kit consists of one New Tribe Onyx harness, one pair of carbon fiber gecko, one 200-foot rope, a Prusik, a pinto pulley, a carabiner, a rope wrench, a foot ascender, a lanyard, and for my lanyard grab I use just a Prusik with a micro pulley. And so therefore I have 3 carabiners, 4 because on the end of my lanyard. So I have 4 carabiners, 2 micro pulleys, 2 Prusiks, a pair of spurs, a harness, and then I've got a couple little odds and ends as far as rig gear. I've got one block with like a 25-foot rope that we make a sling on. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm like a little cheapo tree cutter. I'm doing it on the super cheap, super sexy way.
Well, I want to tell you, I did not write any of that down.
Oh no, I just remembered all that because my kid is so small that it'd be so easy to remember.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Keep it stupid simple. You know, I used to have. Man, I probably had. I couldn't even tell you. I had a zigzag. I had a art positioner. I had a unisender. I had multiple rope wrenches. I had a whole shit ton of X-rings, whole shit ton of blocks, porter apps, slings. Over the years, I've pretty much lost and or given and or had stolen from me all of the gear. I have one original piece of gear from the very first gear order I ever made,
Really?
and it's a carabiner. It still functions great.
What kind of carabiner is it?
It's a Rock Exotica, which actually I would have to say is probably one of my favorite gear brands. I think that they're the most, besides maybe DMM, the most innovative.
It's expert use only.
Expert use only. Right. So, anyways, yeah, my gear kit, is real small. It used to be a lot bigger, but I don't really have that stuff anymore. And I would like it, I think that to have an optimal gear kit for me, I would like to add 2 pinto pulleys, have a total of 10 carabiners, maybe just have like 5 Prusiks, so I have a bunch of backups.
For those real sappy ones.
Yeah, when it gets sappy or when I burn through one and I need to replace it, because I probably run my Prusiks maybe too long. I heard there was one guy that replaced Prusiks weekly.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
Life support Prusiks. I don't know if that's needed or necessary. But maybe just as a peace of mind, I think that's why I did it.
Just kind of taking that extra precautionary measure.
Yeah, it's like $25 for a Prusik too. So you factor that into your weekly costs. It's really not that bad.
Well, and I mean, safety is a huge deal in this industry too.
It's all about the safety. I mean, if you're not safe, you're dead.
I think that's what drives people to get so upset in the industry too, and a lot of people take it personally, but I think it's just the other guy worried about the safety of the whole crew and the whole operation.
Yeah, I would say that some people do take it, the safety very seriously. They take it seriously and
Seriously?
seriously.
Okay.
Seriously, they take it seriously, okay? And they also take it personally. Just like you said a second ago, they
Mhm.
take that personally. But, and I get it. That's cool. I don't think that you should ever take what another man is doing personally, unless they were like personally peeing on you or something.
Absolutely.
But like, if a man is just committing his own actions under his own accord, like if he's cutting a tree with no hard hat on, I
Mhm.
don't think you should take that personally, because I don't think it has anything to do with you.
Absolutely.
Although it does have something to do with you, because like raising insurance rates and all that stuff. But there's a lot of double-edged swords in this whole what we're talking about here, okay? Because insurance rates aren't raised just because we have unsafe people.
I mean, it's economical fluctuation to some degree.
Yeah, it's all sorts of things. Because in California, you're paying 50 cents on the dollar for workman's comp. For every dollar earned, you have to pay 50 cents on that. In some places in California, you're paying over half of your labor costs. Then you have to, put that on top of that, and you got your workman's comp costs. But in a place like Kansas, it's probably closer to 25 cents on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
20 cents on the dollar. A lot of that comes from California being so extremely regulated. Most of it's really, truthfully, honestly, the reason insurance rates are high is because people want money. It's not because a dude is not wearing a hard hat. It's not because of this or that. It's really just because the government wants more money. In the long run, it's laws and regulations. Maybe it isn't the government wanting more money, but the government thinking that they can just make laws and regulations, and so therefore it's going to raise up the prices. Because every time you have a regulation, you have an extra step, and every time you have an extra step, you have more money. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, anyways, not to get all governmental and stuff on you, but
yeah, I don't know.
Workman comps, I couldn't even say that I know very much about that. I've dealt with it a little bit when I had our tree service in Salt Lake, but yeah,
That's
pretty much that. I think we're getting ready to drop this log here.
Oh, yep. There's a notch right there getting made.
Yeah, I think I'm actually working on the back cut right now. I drop it the other way, if I can remember correctly.
Just pulled it over with the machine and bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. Boom.
Yep.
Done. Gonzo. And we have a cut down tree. This is in like Grass Valley, California, working for Chris Brechke.
Mm-hmm.
Brechke. I don't know how to say his last name properly. We never really.
Super
anyways.
fun guy to work for.
Way fun, yeah. He's really adamant that we don't work too hard, that we enjoy ourselves, which we did. It was a very enjoyable job.
He definitely saw his whole crew. He had a pretty large crew, the largest I've ever worked with, and he did a good job watching everybody and how they performed and making sure everyone was safe. And
very serious guy about safety. Everybody, he was very serious about safety. I was pretty impressed with Chris
very
in that regard.
Very proud of his setup, which is having pride in your company and your gear and your guys. All of that reflects how the tree ends up coming down at the end of the day, how happy the customers end up. Yeah, just
100%.
cleaned up that roof.
Yeah, just go. The having pride, I think, is something that you should do in your work. You should have pride in your work. You should also know that you're doing good work before you have pride in it. There are some times when you're gonna fuck up, and you shouldn't really have pride. You should have enough pride to realize where you fucked up at. But you shouldn't have too much pride to where you ignore your fuck-ups.
Absolutely, and that was a good thing Chris had for us too, is by the time the day was over, he reflected on all the individual workers and asked opinions on how things could have been safer, how it could have been done more efficiently, and
Yeah, he was very interested in
how to progress.
how to progress. Yeah, for sure. And I would say I really liked all of the guys that were working with him. I thought every single one of them was a go-getter in one
Mhm.
way or another.
Absolutely.
Um,
They made sure that
Oh.
the workload stayed real light.
older crew for the most part. They were all in their 40s
Yep,
to 50s, except for like a young buck or two.
a couple of them.
But they were cool too. The young bucks did real well too. Here we're rigging multiple pieces down. This is not me in the tree.
This was a Carl.
Carl, yes, this was Carl in the tree. Carl's pretty cool. He came up and first thing, oh, there's Tuckett on the roof. The first thing he did was show off his sweet HCB sticker on his helmet.
Yeah, that took us by surprise.
First generation, and I was like, oh no, wait, but no, what? And I gave him a second gen to put on there too. I'm excited to get back there with third gens to hook him up.
And his dad was working for him as well, and had some family members. Grandpa was there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a generational company that ended up being something pretty special.
Yeah, really cool gig. I enjoyed working with those guys quite a bit, actually. That was a cool little progression there. It's cool to watch this stuff so much after the fact, after you kind of forget what you filmed, and then it's like what we're seeing here is an entire progression. What's going on from one limb cut to being let down, and then here they are throwing them off the roof. And I think we are going to pause the video here, folks. You're going to hear us in a second anyway, but yeah, we're going to pause our talking and hang out with people that just rolled up.
Yeah, we'll be back by the time we start our next words.
Yeah. And these are our next words.
Yep. So we had a sidetrack, had to go to Virginia to get old Scott with us.
Hey,
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah, so welcome Scott Wharton to the podcast,
What's up?
or to the Tree Hustle.
Yep.
Scott is a comedian out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, probably the most asshole town of all time.
I hated it.
Y'all were in my town for all of 3 minutes, and your only complaint was the fucking stoplights.
Yeah, the stoplights were pretty bad.
It just
so,
it just shows though that that's the beginning.
The beginning.
yeah, that's the beginning. So yeah, that was basically the progression of this tree service here. Your dude is grabbing a chainsaw to make sure that the limbs are going to go through the
chipper.
chippa. There's me with no hard hat on. Look at that.
Whoops.
That's all right though. And I'm wearing a Shelton tree. I met that guy, Solomon Shoemaker Shelton. I don't know who owns Shelton tree, but Solomon gave me that hat. I'm pretty sure. I'm wearing. Anyway, so yeah, I guess we'll just kind of talk about our next plans. What's in store for the Tree Hustle with the three of us?
There's a lot of good stuff from what I hear.
Yeah. So we're in Raleigh.
Outside of Raleigh.
Raleigh.
Raleigh
We're all
Raleigh, North
rallied up.
Carolina. Trying to do an open mic for comedy tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go hit up a little open mic tomorrow night.
Should be fun.
That's gonna be like, basically Scott is joining us, and we're gonna start what's called the Lumber Laughs tour. That officially kicks off
March.
March 1st or whenever. We're supposed to be at Mardi Gras, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kicks off at Mardi Gras with a party.
With a party.
What better
which
way
is
to do
funny
it?
because I really hate partying. So
Hate
like,
large groups of people.
Yeah, I hate large groups of people. I hate drunk people. I hate all of them.
Oh, that sounds perfect.
So yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'll probably just be annoyed most of the night. Maybe we can go find maybe by then we can find a place that'll let us do some comedy or something.
Yeah, we should be able to.
We'll just keep on the lookout here.
Making connections. This is a pretty interesting job y'all were doing here with guys on the roof, like God, these houses are so close together.
Yeah. So this was in
Grass Valley, California.
Grass Valley,
Okay.
California. This was shot probably about a month ago. For some reason, this footage it came out all funny looking. It's all like choppy and stuff, but that's all right. You guys can deal with it.
Yeah, so
No,
we
it's
got a
not bad.
guy in the bucket there, and then we got another climber in another tree, and
You're just taking them down, taking them down. I ended up pretty much just doing mostly a bunch of filming throughout the day, but then at the end of the day, they asked me if I'd chunk down the logs, to which I happily did. So that was fun. I don't think we see any video of me actually doing any chunking.
I don't think we did.
I don't think we even took any video.
We had a nice little mattress for a landing pad on that job though, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, actually, I was throwing all my logs onto a mattress.
With all those tires right there stacked at the base.
Okay,
Yeah,
I see the mattress.
Looks like my thing is done dead, so yeah, I just put a whole bunch of useless footage in here, I guess, but that's all right. You can just take that time to listen to us talk.
Reflect on your own life.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with your life these
Yeah.
days?
Is your battery going short on the drone in your head?
Yeah, it's your battery. Yeah, there I am. That looks just weird. I'm just holding it like, hey y'all.
Hey, y'all, Treesus.
It's me, Treesus, with less or more facial hair. I trimmed. You noticed.
Did some facial pooning.
Some facial pruning.
Pooning.
Oh, this is a good one.
Look at
This
that uprooted
here
tree.
is a ficus tree, uprooted, Hurricane Irma, 2017, September of 2017. Working for Oak Services, based out of Aiken, South Carolina. And so yeah, that was pretty good. Working with Charlie Diaz, probably one of my favorite people to work with. Like here we are just talking crap. I don't even know what we're talking about. I didn't watch. I just basically took a bunch of footage
And we're going to talk over it.
and we're gonna talk over it. Here I'm like, get out of my way. I'm holding the chainsaw. I think that. Yeah. See him all smiling and stuff. My facial hair looks even different then. You know.
I can't really see your tie-in point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is ground walking
Oh.
that I'm doing. Here I am trying to get that chainsaw started.
Yeah, you're having a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's running. Oh, there I am. Gotta put on my safeties, put on my ears, and let's make for tree cut.
Yeah, that's a nasty tree.
What am I? Oh, I see what I'm doing. It's a ficus, so it's like a bunch of little trees kind of
Uh-huh.
fused up into one. So it looks like I'm just taking. I was taking little chunks out first, and now we're just making for full cut. Yeah, there we go. There is Charlie Diaz, or Charlie Diaz, as you call him.
Super knowledgeable guy.
Very good at tree work. This was after. Oh, I guess so. It is after. I think a lot of y'all probably seen that footage of the guy that falls off the roof, the log that like breaks the roof and then
Oh,
the guy
yeah.
falls off.
Yeah.
That was that. You know, if you go back in the video a little bit and look at his hand, he's got a big old bandage on it.
Oh, okay.
So he cut like his right above his thumb. He cut that
Oh.
like a big old chunky flap of skin that
Nice.
folded back. I mean, we're probably talking 2 square inches. And meat, like meat. He took a bunch of meat out with it, and it was cut on 2 sides, and the third side that would connect the triangle was completely intact. So we just cleaned it out, folded it back down, put a bunch of bandages on it, and it healed itself all back together. Didn't need stitches or nothing.
Wow.
I've actually done something similar on my thumb, where I cut it open and a big flap came up, and I just did the same thing and it just
Put it right
grabbed
back together.
itself.
I did the same thing with my thumb, actually, where I was taking a top over and I cut my hinge out and it came back on me,
Oh,
and it put my chainsaw right in my
Ooh. I
web.
bet that felt good.
But only for like it didn't really hurt. I went to the emergency room. I was there for 2 hours in the waiting room
Oh my god.
with like this big old bloody bandage. And I was like, you know what? Screw this. And so I went into their little store with medical supplies, bought some gauze, some tape, taped it up, gauzed it up, walked back to the job site and finished the tree.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking soldier.
From that day on, you were not all thumbs.
Exactly. The thumbs. You know,
Rim shot.
actually, you want to hear about my first ever tree cutting accident?
Yeah, of course.
I actually do.
It was before I was like 14 years old. Didn't even know tree work was a thing, but I had this big, huge, like, David Bowie coonskin fucking knife, like big old buck knife, maybe a foot long, thick blade. Like, I mean, it was like a cleaver, basically.
Had some weight to it.
You said
And
it
I
was a
up in
David
the
Bowie
forest.
knife?
Yeah, it was a David Bowie knife, yeah. What is that guy's name? The trapper dude?
Oh, Daniel Boone.
Daniel Boone knife, yeah. David Bowie knife, ground control, I don't know. It's all the same shit. Oh, look, here's the crane trying to pick that up. Anyway, so I'm up in the woods trying to make a fort with my big old David Bowie knife. Okay, Major Tom.
Fame.
And I'm hitting this tree and I'm trying to cut this like maybe 4-inch limb off this tree. And it bounces off a knot and comes down right on my thumb.
Oh,
And
yeah.
put a big old look. Actually, that's the scar.
Oh, beautiful.
And this was a good 14 years ago.
Damn, look at this crane work.
That was half your life ago.
That was half my life ago.
Man, I can't believe that tree was that close to the house. They should have had somebody come.
Oh well,
and take it
look
down a while ago.
look at the house actually. See, that's actually lifted up. See the roots
Uh-huh.
right there?
Right
They
in that.
literally lifted the back
Oh
end
my
of that
God.
carport, or not carport,
The
but
back porch.
back porch up into the air.
That's wild. And I guess it crushed the shed over here too, huh?
Yeah, crushed the shed. It was all hung up in these cable lines. If you look closely, you can see the
yeah.
cable line that goes through there. Yeah, so that was pretty good. So now, if you've watched the Tree Hustle trailer, the beginning where I'm like, he's good for 11,000 pounds. That was on the same job. The crane was set up exactly right where it is, and the pine tree was just on the right side
Okay.
over. So if y'all want to get like a kind of good idea of what was going on, we did this ficus, then a couple pines, some pines in the front. It was a good job.
That's a pretty big pick right there too.
Yeah, that's a.
Yeah, I think that came in at about 5. It looks bigger than it is. This is actually one of the smaller ficus that we did. This was the smaller of the 3 ficus that we did.
Damn.
In Irma. I'll pull out the videos of the other 2 on the next episode. Those are nasty.
Looks like you had some wind to deal with that day too.
This next vid, oh, here's an oak tree in Aiken. Here's just kind of like the progression of a crane pick that we did.
Is he got the? He has the log right now. He's holding the log for you.
Yeah, he's holding the log with the claw. You'll see it here in a second.
Oh, it's a claw.
Yeah, it's a knuckle boom.
Okay, cool.
And you're just lifting that up for you as you're making your cut.
Yeah, exactly. See that?
Oh,
right
I
there?
see it. Now, is that the company owns that, or do they rent that from a machine company?
No, they
for
own
you?
they own that.
Nice.
They own that. Yeah, it's a really great kit. A lot of guys are buying them these days. Great piece of kit. In a lot of ways, it's specialized, right? Since we had it, it was nice to use it on this. But
Right.
if we had a stick crane, I would have said I would have rather use the stick crane
Okay.
on this. Tell him to move.
Yeah, tell him.
There is no sound in this video, but
You get to listen to our beautiful voices instead.
exactly the
Just imagine a chainsaw
on the
or-
sound in this video. I actually don't say a single word in the whole
Really?
thing. Yeah, I just tell him. I just give him some hand motions. Skilled operator. Just give him a couple hand motions. I got to stick my saw in. A lot of people would be real freaked out. That's like kickback central, but you get your hand there on the chain brake. Sticking my nose up in there. It's kind of, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Putting your
I-
dogs in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
put your dogs in. Put your nose in. Get your hand on that chain brake. If that thing kicks back, you at least want to stop the chain from spinning. But that was just to get that last little cut. That is a risky technique, not something I suggest.
Yeah, that's highway to the danger zone all day.
Yeah, so not something I suggest unless you really, really are confident that you can take care of that.
And you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So-
you said, you got to keep your hand on that chain brake or else.
Yeah, or else, yeah.
It gets back to the safety. Really, you gotta really know what you're doing to use a technique like that.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
This is Walt Sanders. I would have to say one of my closest all-time brothers. Him and I, he lives in Kansas.
Okay.
This is at Hope Rock, his house.
He's a very neat guy.
Very neat guy.
That's a beautiful view.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. I think he'll be happy that we put this in there. I can't really say enough good things about Walt. I've always had closeness with the Native American kind of culture. My brother was all about it, and he freaking knew everything about Native Americans, especially when it came to their art stuff.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. I'd love to
Walt
meet that guy.
is Native, or identifies. I don't know. He's Native enough.
Yeah.
He's
Grew up
Native
on-
to me.
He
Okay?
grew up on a reservation until he was 14.
There you go. So he's all about, basically what natives are about, which is really kind of like a Mother Earth spiritual. It's like a spiritual bond with Mother Earth.
For sure.
That's kind of the native. So it was really neat going there and kind of experiencing that lifestyle for a night.
You
Just,
can-
and then just feeling the energy that he has over that
Right.
little property called Hope Rock. It's pretty magnificent place. The three of us will definitely have to go there, and his wife made some flatbread or fry bread.
Oh yeah,
That
Navajo
was-
tacos.
Oh man,
Navajo
it was so
tacos
freaking good.
sound
They
delicious.
made some deer, like a deer meat, not a stew, but
like a chili.
like they made a deer meat. It was ground deer meat. It was like a goulash, but with deer
Okay.
meat. It was so freaking good. That taste that you get on the deer, it's a similar taste to goat.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, just like that little bit of game.
I love
Yeah,
venison.
that game. Oh man, it's so good. Yeah, there I am, just kind of showing them how this thing works, like active track and all that stuff. But yeah, so Walt is a brother in the HCB. He's a patch member.
Okay.
And if you don't know Walt,
You oughta get to
you
know
want to
him.
get to know some people, Walt, hit him up on Messenger, Walt Sanders. Here I am running away. Look at me run like a girl.
Yeah.
If you don't know Walt and you want to meet new people, take time to meet Walt and get to know him. He is a really special person, in my opinion. So, anyways, look at that. The truck has no bumper. Different grill, my old hood.
Yep. Yeah, that's something I don't think anyone knows about. You smashed a tree on your grill and had to change it out while we were down in Hurricane Michael.
Oh my
I
god.
put a post out, but I
Oh.
don't think everybody saw it. Man, I was pretty annoyed with that.
To say the least.
Hmm
It was a moment that definitely left me speechless.
Yeah, it kind of pissed me off. Oh, check this out. This is Arborfest. So this is back all the way into California. We're kind of
We're shuffling.
we're shuffling. I'm actually so I've got about 6 terabytes of unused footage. That's all just stuck on these couple hard drives.
Okay.
And so
Oh, he's doing a jig.
he's doing jig, yeah. So y'all remember that Monty Python song? I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. There's gonna be no sound in here, and maybe at the very end of the video I'll edit it in for all y'all to watch. After we're done talking, I'll end the video with this.
These
There's
two I
Missy
want to meet.
Sue
I'm friends with
and
these
John
two on
Stedman.
Facebook, and I really want to meet them. They're really cool.
We will meet them.
Danger Russ.
Danger Russ, beautiful, beautiful person. Who else we got here?
Bruce Evans.
Who's that?
No, that's not Bruce Evans.
Who is that? Spencer. Here we are.
Oh, you know who
lumberjack
that
and
is?
I'm
That's
okay.
that's Dane's Groundy. Dane from Washington.
Oh yeah, Dane. All right. Yeah, Dane's Groundy.
That
I
was a
forget your
lumberjack
name.
wanna say it was-
ritual.
That
meeting
was our
dance.
lumberjack. I wear panties. We didn't say that. I did, but they didn't. The only person who wears panties there is probably Missy Sue.
And he's an apprenticing climber as well.
Yeah, he's an apprenticing climber.
We met them at that.
Super excited about tree life and just like
The
progressing
lifestyle,
in
the
tree
culture.
life. So that was really pretty cool.
The trees out there insane too, Scott.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So he's got
I
a
bet.
special kind of excitement for it.
I can't wait to get out
There's
there.
a pretty cool little shot. You've probably seen this in a video before. It was in, I think, Latrezus Cuts America, Hey Chap, episode 2.
What do you got there, an ale? No.
That was a cottonwood.
That's a cottonwood.
And
for
those
sure.
were probably the most crappy ass cottonwoods I ever climbed. As far as it literally felt like I was spiking into rocks.
Yeah, in my
Really?
experience from being around it and picking tree climbers' brains, they've never really liked cottonwoods.
I like cottonwoods a lot because
Really?
I like the challenge. This
You're
is
just a fucking different breed, Treesus. That's what it is.
maybe. This is a
butt shot.
butt shot of
That's
my
nice.
butt. This is Greenwich, Connecticut. This was earlier this year.
Okay, cool.
So we're kind of just starting to show you our travels in a year. My travels, I guess you could say at this point. But Ricky has seen a lot. Scott is about to see a whole lot. Scott's had his whole own thing going on this year. He went up to Boston earlier this year, did some...
Did a podcast with Joey O'Neill,
Yeah, okay.
the STC podcast.
Which we will probably be getting Joey O'Neill. Maybe not on Tree Hustle, but he will be on our Lumber Laughs.
Oh, for sure. Wait.
And we have some exciting things going on with Joey O'Neill on his own podcast. We have
The Dick Olympics.
the Dick Olympics, which
Olympics.
Olympics,
Olympics.
and it's basically no nudity, but it's
It's gonna be blurred nudity.
blurred nudity. It's basically like phallic Olympics.
Phallic Olympics.
I'm trying to be all PG here, I don't want to piss none of y'all off.
Sorry, faggots.
Just kidding. I want to piss y'all off. No, I don't want to piss anybody off. But anyways, so that is going to be a thing. Scott will be participating, and I will be judging. I
Yeah,
guess
you-
I just like looking at penis enough that I
Yeah.
want to judge some weird things with it. I don't know, like coins and cups.
We're
and
gonna
stuff
really
like
get to
that.
know each other. In
I don't think
within
there
a 2-week
is
span.
any dick and butt.
No dick
in,
and butt.
in the Olympics. But anyways,
I think it's more like ring toss.
we're
things
gonna
of that
change the
nature.
subject back to Greenwich, Connecticut.
Yeah, this is
This-
a beautiful little forest.
Yeah, this is Scott
Oh, phallic
Bonnell.
tree.
Yeah, this is Scott Bonnell. I would have to say, of all the cutters I've worked with in the last 5 years of serious travels across the country, of all the cutters I've worked with, Scott is probably in my top 5.
Okay.
Very, very good. Very gutsy, but safe at the same time. Serious about his safety. He is a safe climber, in my opinion.
Are you guys rigging off of a few trees in here?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
Seems to be a
so
lot going on.
yeah, so he is. There he is setting his notch. He's basically taking the top out of this oak, and then over on the left side, that branch right there, that's a poplar. Brandon Hoggard started that tree. I might have some footage if I can find it. There I am. So if you go into the New England Tree Cut featuring Tides of Man video, you'll see all the glamour shots
Okay.
off of this video. Basically the whole job, all the glamours. It was about a week of cutting, and it was some seriously good cutting. The money was right, so it was rather stress-free. That was nice.
That's always good.
Um,
Well, when you have somebody that's doing things this safe and not trying to super rush the job,
Yeah.
things go smoother.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's
exactly.
better to just take your time and go smooth. You don't destroy anything. Nobody gets hurt. You're not overworking your groundsman.
Straight up. We are firm believers in that. For me, eventually I'd like to really more or less just play on our removals and focus more about getting the shot and doing it like perfect and safe
Right.
every time. Think about all angles. So if that takes longer.
Experiment with technicality.
Yeah, I was about to say different
Experiment
techniques.
with technicality. That's where.
What's the fastest, safest way to do it? You know.
Yeah. Well, not even fastest. I think I'm gonna get out of trying to be the fastest.
Well, yeah, I'm saying as far as playing with different techniques to
Yeah,
find out
I
what's
see.
the safest. That's also the least time-consuming, safest.
Yes.
There needs to be
yes,
some balance
yeah.
there.
Oh, there definitely has to be balance because you got to make money.
Yeah, can't
But
be
as
on a-
far as what we're trying to do and what we're trying to show all y'all, it's kind of going to take away speed. It's going to take away a lot of speed because we got to think about our angles, the shooting and stuff like that.
Sure.
That might sound pretty crappy to anybody we're going to go work for. And like, I'm not saying we're going to go slower because really
We're not going to milk your jobs.
we're not going to milk your jobs, but
We'll get a cow if we wanna
we're
milk something.
Really interested in making sure we get the shots.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And tell the story of what it really is. You know what I'm saying? So at TCI, and this is kind of where I'm going with this. At TCIA, we saw this block. This thing's about $5,000, and I don't know how I'm gonna buy it because it's a block, like a single rope pulley that's $5,000. But the thing takes digital readouts of your weights on every cut.
Oh, wow.
So we were thinking combining that with the GRCS, and you basically have an LMI, which is a load meter indicator on a crane, and that tells you how much weight you're putting on something.
Okay.
So as a tree climber, a lot of the times when I'm picking up with a crane, a branch, or we're about to take a top off, and I make my guesstimation and say, I think this thing's gonna weigh 1,500 pounds. So pre-tension the crane to 1,500, put your boom right where here, there, whatever. And then they make the cut, and if that thing is a perfect 1,500, then we're gonna not have very much movement, especially if I've cut it, right? So to be able to take that machine, that block, add the GRCS with that, we really want to eventually start making some really informational videos on what the weight in trees is truly like. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of people hit me up, and a lot of people ask me about weight,
Right.
and most of them are way off. Like they're way off.
Yeah.
They're either way under or way over.
Okay.
It's one of the two that I kind of rarely see that people are right on. And what really will make you good at weights, and I think what made me good at weights was there was about 2 years where I did at least 3 crane jobs a week, and every single pick that ever came off them cranes, I asked the weight. So we're talking, a couple hundred jobs, maybe 300 jobs over a 2-year period.
Right, that really helps
Crane,
give you an
and
idea
I'm
of...
asking, I'm doing like, let's say 10 picks average. So we're a couple thousand picks that I've asked weights on. You get good at it. You
Yeah,
get good
for
at it,
sure.
and it becomes pretty natural. You don't really have to sit and try
Yeah.
to do some calculations like, 8 inches here, and then it's 30 feet long, so 8 times 30. You don't have to do that. You just kind of can look at it, and a number will come to your head.
So essentially, with the combination of this, you can train people and kind of give some sort of insight of what you're doing when you're training somebody on how to use a crane. When you're personally working with somebody, you run into somebody on a job and it's going to be a crane removal, and you guys have your scenic headsets, and you can kind of guide them along a lot more efficiently and a lot safer based off of your knowledge. It's a good teaching mechanism.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. So,
I like what you guys are doing. This is a lot more advanced than the tree climbers and the companies that I've grown up working for. They're still kind of doing things old school.
yeah.
Very old school.
Yeah, this is quite a bit, different than... On this tree, I don't necessarily know I feel like I went about the way that there was to go about this. I mean, I guess you could have probably done it way different, but this is an oak tree right here.
I mean, for the most part, everything we did was setting a pulley in the tree that we're cutting out of, or set a pulley in a nearby
tree.
tree, and then
Yeah.
just running bowlings and having a man on the ground running the rope with putting a certain amount of wraps on whatever tree that it needed to be around.
Mm-hmm.
However many wraps the climber told him that he thought he needed. But that shit gets dangerous too. I mean, we had a guy break his foot not too long ago doing that shit just because it was too many wraps. So when it came, it didn't have time to fall, and it just came back and slammed him in his fucking foot.
Yeah, that happened to me earlier this year.
So the
But
more
it wasn't
pulleys and shit
necessarily
like this you can
because-
have in the trees, the better.
The more pulleys in the tree, the better, for sure.
Sure.
Because that's like a load sharing. So, if you see this rope that goes out to me and then comes back to the right of the screen up in the corner there,
Yeah.
that
so it's
goes
gonna
to a
swing this
pulley.
back way.
Well, no, it's actually going to swing straight down because I have it to a pulley over on that branch I'm on.
Okay. Okay.
But-
you have a man down here.
And then I have it over to a pulley, but then the way that this tree is, these are both leaning real hard. So
Okay.
that's one
I
big
see you
limb
got
on
the
the
pool
tree.
over here and stuff. You don't
And
want to
then-
damage.
The limb on the right, that pole is actually way the hell over there. I
Okay.
wasn't even close to it. But there is a yard with a fence and all sorts of little things there. This limb on the right goes up and out. It goes like way right, okay? And then it comes way left on the way down. So it's like a big leaner.
Okay.
So I put a pulley right back there where you just saw that drop,
Uh-huh.
back up here in the right top corner, and then back down that limb that's on the right,
Okay.
and I just hooked it all up like fishing pole.
Yeah.
It's like looks
Yep.
like a fishing pole. On these heavy leaning hardwoods, that's a really good idea. It's
That's a beautiful technique that you're using.
yeah, the basically
It gets things more precise.
One of the things that kills the most tree climbers, this is something I heard, I don't know if it's true, but it makes a lot of sense to me, is heavy leaning hardwoods. Dudes going up and taking things too big on a heavy leaning hardwood. Because what happens when you have a lot of weight at the end of a big piece of oak is it'll try to separate the fibers on your cuts, it'll try to separate the fibers linearly, like down the log.
Yeah, and it'll do the split underneath you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like a big thing. Sorry, rain was getting on me. I just had to turn on the truck. We're in my truck right now. You probably can hear the.
It's the office,
Yeah, this is the office.
truck office.
So, anyways, yeah, I don't know. I guess we're just rambling, really. But yeah, on a heavy leaning hardwood, you should definitely keep that rope up on the underneath of the tree, on the underside of the tree, and you should keep it up next to the tree. There should be no big giant gap, like making a violin bow.
Right.
You should never have that. You should always have it fishing poled up to the tree. It's gonna take a lot of your rig and your forces, and it's gonna trade it throughout the whole tree. And you'll actually see a lot less movement when you're rigging that way too. If you put some trees together right, you can actually make trees contract and pull back into themselves while you're cutting them down. So you can take, like, let's say this heavy limb off, and you can actually get the whole thing to be stronger when you cut it because the rope is literally pulling the whole tree back in on itself, and it's like fighting gravity. It's a weird concept, but you get what I'm saying? It's like the gravity has been pulling this tree down for so long that the fibers are stronger
When lifted up.
when lifted up a little bit.
Gotcha,
You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I see that way the stress is
Yeah.
kind of relieved on it as it's trying to
Exactly,
grow
exactly.
and distribute all the nutrients to the
Mhm,
tree as
yeah.
you're trying to kill this tree.
Yeah, I don't know. Deliver nutrients. I don't know.
Oh.
Forces. No nutrient delivered while you're killing the tree.
Well, the way it grows.
Well, the way it grows, yeah,
The
so,
grain.
like the grain on the bottom side is going to have more compression,
because
right.
of the weight that's
yeah,
over top
that's
of it.
pushing it, right? And the back side is going to have more stretch. So when you're pulling that branch back up, you're compressing the top and stretching the bottom, which the tree is going to be able to deal with a lot more than doing it the reverse of stretching the bottom. You're compressing the top, stretching the bottom when you're pulling it up. The
You're ba-
reverse will break it.
You're basically creating a tree wrench versus a rope wrench. It's like adding the kink in the line.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
It relieves the friction, like, you know what I'm saying?
We could be totally off base here and completely freaking wrong. Just so all of our viewers know, find somebody else saying the same
Well,
thing,
it's,
and
it's
then
the
you can
mathematical
trust.
science
Yeah.
of just like how the pulley system works and why we use pulleys in general. The more pulleys you have, then the less tension.
What you're saying is when you're making these cuts, you're keeping the pressure from ripping right here, from
Yeah.
ripping the rest of the tree.
By doing
by
it
pulling
smaller,
it back this way.
by pulling it back, by doing it smaller.
Yeah.
That's the best way to go about a leaning hardwood, a heavy leaning hardwood, any heavy leaning tree really.
Yeah.
That you're climbing. Don't go big. That's.
I mean, the way you're doing everything too makes life so much easier on the ropeman, and so much easier on the groundsman.
Oh yeah, the boys at Oak, they really liked working with me because
I believe it.
I don't send. I don't know. Behind a crane, I think I can get kind of wild, but I'm usually just picking it how I see it.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm trying to like destroy the groundman. On a crane, I can get a little bit ridiculous. I like to max. I like to hit that max.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of times
Get
I've
you out of
noticed
that tree
that the
faster.
heavier the weight that I can pull off, the easier it is to balance.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because that's the longer piece. It's a whatever. You know? So yeah, like there was this one job in Salt Lake, 2015. There's this big elm, and it was like a multi-stem. If you put all three stems together, this thing was 100 inches, easy. So each stem was probably about 40 inches. One stem fell out, and crushed this garage, and a car underneath it destroyed it. The other two stems went back up over a power plant,
Oh my God.
and they had just lost one of their pieces, so I told the lady, yeah, I'll take it out. I bid it at $5,000. I should have bid it at $10,000, and I would have got it too. It was all insurance work, you know. But this was like some of the things that I learned about big trees. Big trees took me a long time to learn.
Quick pro tip for insurance work: overbid, for sure.
Yeah, well, they're getting smart about it. They're
Yeah.
getting smart and tough about it. Oh, looks like we're out of. All right, y'all. Well, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Until next time.
All right, you guys. Here we that's good. I got it ready. Here we go. Heat it up.
I'm a lumberjack and I don't care. Sleep all night, work all day. I'm a lumberjack and I don't care. Sleep all night, work all day.
Okay, yeah, that's it. We got it. That was worth a retake, you guys.